Well, ladies and gentlemen, it would seem my prophecy has come to pass that Matt Shakman, when he left this project to go and direct Fantastic Four for Marvel, this was going to be dead in the water. And now it is true. Star Trek sequel removed by Paramount from the upcoming film slate. This is not a surprise by any stretch of the imagination, because they hadn't even secured all of the cast when they announced this. It was due to be released next year, December 22nd, 2023. It was supposed to be released, and when they announced it, the cast weren't even aware of the film. So not a huge surprise. I will say this though, not always good. Being completely right on these things, I don't hate these Star Trek films. I don't think they're absolutely amazing, but I also don't think they're utterly horrendous either. I enjoyed the first one to a degree, and then they went steadily downhill. But I do think, genuinely, with the right person attached as writer, they could be good. You've got a good cast. You've got a very good cast, but sadly they can't elevate the scripts. So, I'm not saying they're amazing. There was some enjoyment out of them, even as a morbid curiosity. So it is a shame, but not too much of a shame, because Paramount have done this completely to themselves. Really is baffling to me that they bothered to announce this without even notifying the cast that they wanted them back. Like, what are you doing? It's almost as if, to me, and a bit of sort of speculation here, it's almost like they essentially announced this and were hoping that the cast would agree to it based on a wave of hype that would occur. I look awfully grey, don't I? Weird. It's almost like they wanted that to be the reason, because there is notoriously an issue between Chris Pine and the studio, because they weren't going to be paying him what he was contracted, and that's why this film has been dead in the water for so long. So it's my firm belief that they announced this hoping that he would agree to a number, because fans would be rallying to get this movie underway. I genuinely believe that. Otherwise, what a total shit show. Why are you announcing films when you haven't even reached out to the cast? Bizarre. Really, really bizarre. I don't think there's been a film that this has happened with yet. Correct me if I'm wrong. If you know of any, let me know. But I think this might be one of the first films that I know of, especially at this big budget, that the studio's announced without having the cast signed on, with a release date of a year. So bizarre. So anyway, it's now gone. Paramount has removed its untitled Star Trek sequel from its upcoming film slate. Not a surprise. The project, produced by J.J. Abrams' Bad Robot, had been dated to hit theatres December 22nd, 2023. Oh, so funny. It's so funny. The rather inevitable news comes roughly 1 month after director Matt Shakman exited Star Trek film, which was nominally set to be the fourth cinematic tour of duty for Chris Pine as Kirk, Zachary Quinto as Spock, Zoe Saldana as Uhura, Carl Urban as Bones, John Cho as Sulu, Simon Pegg as Scotty. Shakman was successfully courted by Marvel Studios to helm its Fantastic Four reboot, reuniting the WandaVision director with the studio after Spider-Man No Way Home director John Watts left that film in April. So Shakman first became attached to the Star Trek sequel in the summer of 2021, following his acclaimed run directing every episode of WandaVision. The Trek announcement even landed the same day Shakman was nominated for an Emmy for the show. Then this February, Abrams announced during the Paramount Global Investors Day presentation that a new Trek movie will be shooting by the end of the year and would feature our original cast. But again, this part, the only problem, according to insiders, Pine, Quinto, and the rest of the cast had not yet officially signed up for the movie when Abrams made his announcement, leaving Paramount with less than a year to secure the actors. And they are in demand, but again, remember, I think this was them trying to play chess. Paramount have had some success with some films, but they're not huge. They haven't been huge, right, with their box office takings. And I firmly believe it's the same argument that they were having, the same disagreement, money. That's why Chris Pine wouldn't sign on, because they were trying to offer him less. They weren't going to give him the money he was contracted. Which, if you're contracted money, it's in your contract. You should take it. Like, of course, it's a legally binding contract. I do another movie, you pay this. Okay. You know? And I reckon they announced all of this as a bit of a chess move, a bit of a checkmate. Oh, let's see what you do. I reckon they were hoping and banking on just a tidal wave of hype. No idea why, mind you. No idea why they'd be waiting for that or expecting that. But I think that's what they were doing. Because otherwise, how stupid are you? Now, with the film now off its schedule, deadline is no longer looming, but it still leaves Paramount without plans for an entry in its most valuable franchise. The last Trek feature came in 2016 with Star Trek Beyond. It was with Justin Lin. It earned $343.5 million worldwide. That's terrible. The lowest grosses of any Trek reboots from Bad Robot. It's not been for lack of trying. Paramount has pursued multiple Trek film projects since Beyond, including Pine and Chris Hemsworth, reuniting them, as well as versions overseen by Fargo, Noah Hawley, but he's gone now, and also Quentin Tarantino. He's not interested now. None of them have been able to achieve orbit. Oh, it's so bizarre. Meanwhile, Star Trek is enjoying its most robust presence ever on television, with 5 ongoing Trek series, with awful ratings. Because people think they're garbage. Interesting stuff, ladies and gents. What do you reckon? Do you think there's some validity to what I've said? I firmly stand by that. Otherwise, Paramount are just wholly incompetent. So a bit disappointing news, but not a surprise, not a stretch. It's dead in the water. Dead, dead, dead. No more. No more. But it'll be interesting to see what happens here. When these individuals start signing up to other projects, we know that this is done for a long time. For a very long time.